Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here to share the speaker portion of our Connections Over Coffee gathering of the On Purpose Woman Global Community. Lori Pieper is speaking on Stress Makes You Stupid. Lori is an author, an inner joy coach, and the founder of Journey to Inner Joy. She's a Reiki Master and is Chopra certified in total well-being coaching, PSM meditation instruction, and perfect health, Ayurvedic lifestyle instruction. So she's got a lot of creds here to talk about stress today. Using a unique blend of this healing wisdom, Lori guides women who feel stuck, overwhelmed, and exhausted to a life of empowerment to be true to themselves and live their life with clarity, passion, and joy. And you can find Lori's website in the text for this video. Lori, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So yeah, I'm going to talk about stress makes you stupid. And so let me just, so can you see the slide? Jenny, I don't know if you can hear me.
No, we can't see
No,
the slide.
you're not sharing your screen yet, it doesn't look like.
Oh, share. There we go. Okay. You wouldn't know I've done this a million times, would you? So yes, stress makes you stupid, or at least it makes you stay and do stupid things. And today I want to talk about why that is. And it's mostly so that we understand and have compassion for ourselves and for others when we get into these modes and start feeling well, stressed and stupid. I first want to let everybody know that health and joy are your birthright. It is part of who we are and why we're here on this earth, but we forget that. And you might say, well, if health and joy are your birthright, why is not all of humanity healthy and happy? I don't know. Can anybody think of any reasons why maybe we might get stressed out or worried? I just put a few things up here, and I'm sure everybody can add a little bit to this. But the reality, and one of the things I really want to point out and make a point here, is everything that you see on the screen and everything that stresses you out and worries you are also those things that bring you joy, that can bring you joy. And I always think first of kids, because to me, there's nothing more uplifting and beautiful than hearing a child giggle. But there's also nothing that tugs at my heartstrings more than, you know, hearing a child cry because they fell and got hurt. So remembering that everything in life has its good and its bad can be really helpful in keeping us centered and not so angry and worried. So all this stress, how does it really impact our brain, and how does it make you stupid? We should be thanking our stress response because it is perfectly designed to keep you alive. It's a physiological response to perceived danger. And I have that perceived word in italics because we are telling our bodies every moment of every day what is dangerous and what is not with our thoughts. The part of our brain that puts us into fight or flight mode and rest and restore is part of what is called the reptilian brain. So when we were evolving, at one point, thousands of years ago, we had the same reptilian brain as a reptile. It's called the reptilian brain. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but it is to keep us safe. And it triggers in your body what you need to either run away from fear or fight the fear. And then after the threat is gone, your body goes into rest and restore, and your body repairs the damage. So your body does heal itself given the right conditions. It sounds perfect, right? Stress keeps us alive. The fight flight keeps us alive, and then rest and restore heals us. So what's the problem? The problem is we don't give ourselves enough time to get into rest and restore before our next stressor. One of my Reiki teachers gave me an exercise. I never thought I was a worrier until he gave me an exercise on my drive home. Be aware of how many things you're worried about. And is it a true worry or not? And that's when I realized I became aware of how much I worry. I was just like my mother, a worrywart. And I never realized it because it just came second nature. So being aware makes a big difference. The other problem is your brain sees everything as a danger. So in order to have that, in order to keep you safe, it labels everything as dangerous. Now, there are a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes in your body when you are stressed. I'm only going to talk about the first bullet here, but I wanted you to have everything else if somebody wants to grab a screenshot of it or something, because there's a lot going on. The big thing is blood leaves your rational, compassionate brain and goes to your primitive, reactionary, and reptilian brain. Why? Because thousands of years ago, when this part of our brain was being formed, we were in fight or flight mode a lot. We would go out hunting or foraging for food, and you might see a saber-toothed tiger. Well, you can't rationalize whether or not that tiger is going to chase you and kill you and eat you, right? You have to react, and you have to choose quickly if you're going to fight or run away. And then so that the blood literally goes away from the rational part of your brain into the reactionary part of your brain. And that part of your brain is also you versus me. So it's not very compassionate. So the frightening impact of stress, and again, I have a lot of information here. I'm just going to talk about the first one, where the blood leaves your rational brain, rational compassionate brain. So this is why stress literally, physiologically, not only makes you stupid, but makes you selfish. It makes you very reactionary. You don't have time to think before you react. And that's why, I don't know about you, but we say and do things that we regret later because we're in this mindset of you versus me, and you've made me angry, I'm worried, it's not going to get anything done. It's physiological. So hopefully this starts helping us to better understand and have more compassion for ourselves, and definitely more compassion for others, like that road rage person, having a little more compassion. They're literally not in their right brain. And this is just a quick diagram. So this here in the center where I have it labeled as reactionary, this is your reptilian brain. And luckily, as humans, our brain evolved more than just the reptiles. So we have all this other area in our brain that is more rational, empathetic, and compassionate. So when we're stressed, we are in fight or flight mode. And when I say stress, when we're worried, when we're angry, when we're in fear, all of those bring us into our reptilian brain. Plus, our thoughts are not helping you any. Our thoughts are oftentimes, as I mentioned, the brain sees everything as a danger. I've heard this from many wisdom teachers, but Deepak Chopra, I heard it from Deepak Chopra first. If you want to know what you were thinking 5 years ago, look to who you are today. If you want to know who you're going to be in 5 years, look at your thoughts today. If you Google how many thoughts people have in any one day, it's anywhere from 60,000 to 90,000. I don't care. Even if it's just 60,000, that's a lot of thoughts. And it's pretty much across the board that 80 to 90% of those thoughts are negative. Why? Because our brain is trying to keep us safe. Our brain is trying to keep us safe, and it's teaching us that these things are dangerous. We're teaching it that it's dangerous. Every time we say, oh, our boss is mean, or our boss, every time the phone rings, it's more work for me. These thoughts are training our brain to keep us safe, but also to keep us stuck in fear. And our real purpose and joy comes from our heart and soul. So getting your attention out of your brain and into your heart is huge for allowing you to live your life of joy. Being aware of your thoughts allow you to train your brain so you can live your life of joy. Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If I mention, I live in the Midwest, and if I mention snow to my best friend, she's like, I hate snow. And I'm like, I love snow. To me, it's beautiful. It's clean, especially first thing in the morning. I love shoveling it. I hate the snow blowers because they're loud, noisy, and smelly. I like shoveling the snow. So I look at things differently. So when it snows, I'm happy. When it snows, my friend is miserable. The way you look at things, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I love that. So how do we reclaim our sanity? How do we get out of this spiral? And sometimes that is what it is. It's especially in this, in the world we live in today, we're seeing a lot of that negativity, a lot of the shootings and wars. And we think, oh my gosh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. But it's not really. It's just what we're seeing in the news. So how do you reclaim your sanity? I am a big believer in meditation. I never thought I could meditate. I was convinced I could never meditate because every time I tried, I thought I was doing it wrong. And it wasn't until I learned primordial sound meditation through Deepak Chopra's organization that I learned the myths. I learned more about the body and stress. I learned more that, yes, I am doing it right. If I sit on my butt, I'm doing it right. So why is meditation important? It's not as difficult as you think it is. And we were talking in breakout rooms earlier that there's something different for everybody. And there are many different types of meditation. But when we're in that meditative state, when people are monitoring the brain, they can see that there's no activity or very little activity in that reptilian brain. And the activity in the brain is going more to that compassionate part of your brain. It's training. Meditation is not about clearing your mind. It's about training your mind to not attach to all of these thoughts, particularly not all of these negative thoughts. And when we're not attaching to these negative thoughts, there's more room, there's less stress, right? So attention goes out of the reptilian brain into the compassionate brain. And the more you do that, the more those neural networks are reinforcing our rational, empathetic, compassionate brain. And less time is spent in the reptilian brain. So meditation, you don't have to, we're going to do a short meditation here in a little bit. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes twice a day. It can just, you can space it 2 minutes throughout your day, 2 to 5 minutes throughout your day. Breath work. Breathing is really important. Obviously, we can't live without breathing, but breathing for calm is important. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Hang out in nature. Mother Nature is very nurturing. I don't know how many of you have hugged a tree, but I know I've hugged a tree before. And I'm telling you, because I always worry about what people think. And I hugged a tree out in the middle of all these other people. I hugged, it was so freeing because I didn't care what people thought. And it just felt good. So doing these things, being in nature without your phone on, can really make a lot of difference and help you to ground, help you to get out of fight or flight and get into rest and restore. And laughter. It truly is the best medicine, and you can force yourself to laugh. If you ever have an opportunity to go to a laughter yoga class, do it. So get out that comedy and laugh, laugh, laugh. So this is the breathing that I wanted to make sure I had some time to spend on. Your vagus nerve goes from your brain into these major organs that are key in the fight or flight, rest and restore. And you've got your lungs, your heart, and then right here, if you can see this line underneath the lungs and the heart, that's your diaphragm. When you inhale by expanding your belly, because you always hear people say, take a couple deep breaths, expanding your belly, or take belly breaths. That's pulling the diaphragm down into these other organs. And it's kind of giving them a little bit of a massage. But more importantly, the vagus nerve is activated. And when the diaphragm goes down and your belly pushes out on the inhale, you're telling your body you're safe. And now you can go into rest and restore. When you're breathing just from your chest, you're telling your body you are in fear for your life and you are in fight or flight mode. You may not even feel it, but you're in fight or flight mode. And all of that negative stuff that's going on in your body is continuing to go on. So, if you want to put your left hand on your belly, your left hand on your belly, just around your rib cage, your right hand on your chest, and just breathe normally. Paying attention to which hand is moving. If your left hand on your belly is moving, that means you're breathing for calm. If your right hand is the only hand that's moving, that means you're putting yourself into fight or flight. Now, keep in mind, if your left hand, if your belly expands and then your chest expands, then you're just getting a really nice, deep, full breath of air. So keeping that in mind, physiologically, this is how your body works. So let's just do a quick get present. I do this all the time. I space it out throughout my day. I do it when I drive. I don't close my eyes, obviously. But if I'm in traffic or someone's cut me off, or if my partner's driving, sometimes I have to get into this rest and restore. So if you choose, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. Take 2 to 3 deep breaths, expanding your belly on the inhale. So inhale, expand that belly, and exhale with a sigh. When we really exhale deeply as well, that helps us get out of fight or flight and into rest and restore. So do a couple deep breaths. And breathe normally. Breathing through your nose is better, but obviously if you're congested, you can breathe through your mouth. And set a positive intention. And we can talk more about this after the session, but for now, just as an example, you can say something as simple as, I am open to receiving whatever I need at this moment for my greater good. And something even more and better. And then just let it go. Let that intention go. Let God and the universe take care of it. And now with your eyes closed, breathing normally, as you inhale, imagine that you are inhaling light in through your nose, down through the heart center and into your lower abdomen, just beneath the belly button. And on an exhale, send that light out throughout your body. And just keep that visual. I'll watch the time. We'll just do this for a couple of minutes. Inhale, imagining the light going in through your nostrils, down through your heart center, into your lower abdomen. Exhale and expand the light throughout your body. the visual. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Now that was barely a full minute, and I don't know about you, but I feel calmer. And imagine if you're feeling more calm after a minute, doing this for 2 to 5 minutes, how good you might feel throughout your day. And it really does. It brings the blood back into your compassionate, rational brain. So if you have to make any key decisions in your life, you definitely want to get yourself in this place of calm beforehand. And with that, I wanted to leave time for questions for Q&A. I do want to point out that I do have a Chopra primordial sound meditation training class that I'll be offering in January to help you get your new year started. It will probably be the second week of January. I haven't set actual dates for it yet. So with that, if anybody has any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If anybody has any questions.
Lori, I want to stop the recording before we take questions.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but I want to thank you. That was so wonderful. Thank you for the reminder just to breathe. And I would like everyone here in the Zoom with us to unmute yourself so we can applaud and do yays for Lori and thank her for this beautiful presentation. So let's go, everybody.
Yay! Thank you.
So thank you so much, Lori. And thank you to anyone who's watching this live or the replay or on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to join us for one of our 9 free Zoom gatherings a month or an in-person in Columbia, Maryland, Richmond, Virginia, or Tallahassee, Florida, you can put something in the comments, or you can just go to my website, opwgc.com. Thanks again for watching, everyone.